General Cornwallis staged 2,200 men of his infantry, consisting of infantry and marines, to cross this inlet breach here from over there, which is the Isle of Palms, and I'm standing on Sullivans Island. But at that time it was known as Long Island. And at that time, the breach here was about a mile in width. Now it's only a couple hundred yards long. Then it was wide enough and shallow enough that they could wade through it and get onto a sandbar. There were 2 sandbars that were located here. The idea was that Cornwallis would stage 9 frigates out off the coast here and would bombard Fort Moultrie, and he was under the perception that he would be able to batter their walls, and then the men, 2,200 infantry, would be able to cross this here and seize the fort. But that didn't happen. What happened was the men could not get across the breach here because when they waded across the waters at that time, it was waist high. It was too hard. They made a second attempt to stage a series of boats across where they would use that as a boat bridge, but they didn't have enough boats. And here where I'm standing was a defense setup in which they had several cannons and also about 750 men to repel them. And they put a hurting on the British when they tried to cross. Clinton began his attempt to cross the breach inlet and attack the fort from the rear. With his 2,200 redcoats, he marched down from his camp on Long Island to the edge of the inlet. In the breach inlet, the armed 8-gun schooner St. Lawrence now flanked Clinton's force. Further down along the island and off the east shore of Sullivan's Island, in the North Channel, was Captain Roger Willis' 8 guns. Parker ordered 3 frigates, Actaeon, Sphinx, and Siren, to swing their way towards the Rebellion Road, the anchorage within Charleston Harbor. They were an enfilade at the fort across the fire, disrupt potential American retreat over the cove to the mainland. Pilots on warships, even again, though error and duplicity, ran their vessels aground on the lower middle ground. The shoal from where the Fort Sumter was later built. Sphinx and Siren were saved, but the 28-gun Actaeon was stuck in the sand. Sergeant William Jasper, planting flag atop the Patriot Fort with British Navy in background. Sergeant Jasper's heroics, New York Public Library. General Clinton, meanwhile, launched his promised diversionary attack in the form of a flat-bottom flotilla from Long Island. When the British attempted to force their way across, they made no progress against Thompson's riflemen and gunners firing from the palmetto earthen and breastworks. A Charleston Loyalist who had joined the British and served in the flotilla said, "It was impossible for any set of men to sustain so destructive a fire as the Americans poured in."